Well, obviously we're getting ready for the spring contest. I don't know if you want to call it a scrimmage. We kind of do what we do. Won't be much of a scrimmage, to be quite honest. It'll be more of situation football and watching some of the younger guys compete in certain situations. Today we kind of presented that again to them. We got into the 2-minute just without being competitive, where the offense, we wanted all the quarterbacks kind of go through the repetition of that. This practice was dedicated to Kevin Mawai. We used to have these type of practices in New York, where actually, if you witnessed after the team period, the offensive line and defensive line went in. So this was a Kevin Mawai's practice in New York. I told him I'm gonna break it out today. So he was smiling. He said, that's my practice. That's my practices. So I told the players it's Kevin Mawai. Big guys go in, and I think where we're at right now, the key for us is just getting through the next 2 practices without any injuries, and then getting on with the spring development, which is vital for us because we're so young, and we have some more young guys coming in, but really getting bigger and stronger. I think that's the key. We're kind of figuring out who we are a little bit, especially on defense. I think now the system's been in place 2 years. There'll be some more players added to that. Offensively, we still have the quarterback battle going on, and I think all these guys done a good job of competing. Each of them have, they up and down in days, but you expect that, and that's almost not fair to them because, one day they're not going with the #1 team and they're just doing 7-on-7, so it's hard. But I think it's the right way to do it right now. When we get into the summer, first week or 2, we'll figure out, which way we're going. It's going to be a hard decision. All these guys have done a great job of competing, but we're in a good place right now, I think. I think that the culture is starting to change a little bit, and the players are understanding what's expected. And I think it's good for the 20 guys that are going to come in here because they're going to set the tone. This class here will set the tone for the 20 young players we have coming in, and we're excited about those guys. So, knock on wood, let's just get through these next 2 days and we should be fine.
So is Thursday just going to be another day?
Yeah, the live part will be the V drill. It's just Yogi and the Pac-12 network, obviously. That's for television. I'm a television guy too, so get people excited about playing tackle football. And we'll do some tackling, and then from there, stud. I'm not big on that. And maybe that's the pro football in me, where I just think you can teach tackling and you don't have to take guys to the ground. And I think we've done a nice job of doing that all spring. I think we'll be a better tackling team. Now you say about the guys getting tackled, I don't worry about that too much. I just think, in today's world, safety is always critical, and you can still get work done without having live tackling. Now some coaches are opposite, but I've always been that way, even in pro football. We tackled in the preseason. And a lot of the starters didn't tackle a whole lot because they didn't play a whole lot. So I just think if you practice it correctly, when it starts, we'll be able to tackle well, and I think guys will be able to break tackles. So that's just how we've done it. We did it that way last year. I don't think it hurt us, so I just think that's the mode we're in now.
Just situational for that?
Yeah, it'd be situation football like we kind of did today. We've been doing that the last couple practices, creating situations for the quarterbacks and for the team, just moving the ball, whether it's backed up, midfield, in the red zone, down and distance, situations. This team did a pretty good job when it came to situation football, and I'm real big on that. I just think that games get away from you, and when you can't play for the players, when the game starts, they're out there, and you can make some decisions for them, but they got to know certain situations in the game, and I think smart teams are aware of that, and the more you can put it on these young quarterbacks, I think is important. So we'll do some of that. The practice will be somewhat similar to this. It'll be 2 more team periods. We'll start it off with the V drill, get everybody excited, about that. And we got Joe Conley, who's our strength coach, and I called him Michael Buffer because he's actually going to introduce the guys before we go. We'll give it to the Pac-12 network so they can talk about it on television. These are the 7 opponents, and here we go with the V drill. So the players will be excited about it. And then we're going to try to keep score in the scrimmage, I should say scrimmage, but the practice. We have 4 quarterbacks, so 2 will play for the Maroon and 2 will play for the white team, and we'll keep a store. We'll give these folks obviously the scoring of how we do it, And we'll put it up on the scoreboard. And we've done it in practice a couple of times now. The players like it. So we'll do that in certain situations in practice, so that should be fun.
So it's documented that your numbers have been in some positions.
Yeah, defensive line.
And wide receiver too,
Yeah.
to some extent. Does that create an incomplete picture as you enter spring practice going into fall camp?
Yeah, because like last year, you know, when you think about the freshmen that came in here and ended up playing, so it's kind of, I'm not nervous. I'm really not. You guys know me by now. I don't get nervous. I just coach, and I coach the guys that are available. I think the guys that are getting the reps, it'll help them. But there's help along the way. It's coming, and good help too. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. The key was the quarterbacks. Get the quarterbacks in there. Now it's not fair for those guys because the problem with quarterbacks, like anybody else, when the receiver is playing with quarterback A, B, or C, the ball comes out different. There's no chemistry yet, and we understand that. And so I'm not worried about that right now. We just want to see how the quarterback runs the offense and the decisions they make with the players they have. But eventually, receivers, offensive line, running backs, they got to work together. I mean, you can see how we practice. We're under center a little bit more, and we're going to go under center. And I said that my first year. We'll probably do a little bit more, and so that's critical because now all of a sudden the quarterback has to turn his back away from the defense. That's hard for a lot of young guys. You know, it's hard for guys going in professional football. That's what hurts a lot of these college quarterbacks. They are in the gun, then you ask them to get under center. That's one part of it. But now all of a sudden you're under center and the play action pass is involved. They actually have to turn their back away from the defense. They can't see it. That's difficult, and that's why a lot of college people don't do it anymore. It's hard to teach, but I think we can teach it. I want to use it in the part of our system. We're not going to use it a lot. We use it enough, though, in certain situations that I think will help us.
Do you feel the communication, at least defensively, through the spring now that you said guys coming in, whether they're using the system, that defensively they're all starting to communicate better?
Yeah, they are because a bunch of the guys have played together. You got Merlin and Butler in there. They kind of run it. Rashari's back there. Wiley is back, which he was going to be he was probably going to be the defensive captain last year until he got hurt. And so he's back. We got our corners back, and this is going to be interesting when these other guys show up because we're going to be very fast. We're going to be fast now. You know, we got some guys that can run on the back end, and we got some guys that come in here and playing the wide receiver that can run too. We've got a big old tight end in here that he was in here last week. And tell you what, now he looks like one of those guys and he can run. I know he can run. So we're going to be a lot faster, which I think we have to be if we're going to compete in this conference.
Just big picture, did you guys accomplish everything you guys sort of set out to accomplish this spring? Is there anything more in the last two practices?
No, I think don't get hurt. I mean, your eyes don't lie. You know, always listen to your eyes. That's what I do. I don't get caught up in all the rest of that stuff. I watch the tape, watch practice, and you kind of know who's who. Certain players have gotten better too. I mean, there's a lot of guys that didn't participate a whole much last year that are involved in it. The sad part for us is the defensive line because we don't have a bunch of them. But we've gone through practice and we're okay. You know, I'm not panicking, but there's a young group of guys coming in here that are going to have to play, and we know that. They're not just coming in here to watch. They're going to have to play, and that's a tough position to play in college football as well as the offensive line because of the strength and the mass of all of a sudden these young guys coming in here. They've played high school football. Now they're going to play against a senior in college. Well, there's a difference. There's big time. It shows up in the offensive line and defensive line, especially at this level. Coming from high school to go to that level is hard. But we understand that, and we'll get them ready to play.
Having the 35-yard field out there, what's the biggest benefit of that?
The agility for, obviously, the weight coaches, for us to walk through. I mean, that's critical. So now we don't have to go across the street. We can, these players in today's world, because they live on this, everything is visual. You have to entertain them, and you got to entertain them when you coach them too. Now, you can't sit in the classroom for 30 minutes. You just can't, because their mind doesn't work that way. So, the more we can go from the classroom, walk them through before we even get to the field, I think that's a way of teaching. I hit somebody's phone. I'm sorry. And that's your phone? Okay, I'm sorry, baby. My wife might be calling. And I think this too, it gives you the ability to do some things on the off season that are vital, where we don't have to go across the street. We can't thank the folks enough for really the generosity of the folks that were involved in doing this for us, because it just cuts off a lot of time going across the street. And now coach can actually go on the field. You can go right from the classroom and go on the field. That's part of teaching. And Coach Likens went out there today, and that's, you know, Likens Field used to be in the parking lot. You know, the one in the parking lot over there we made on the cement, and we were dodging the beer trucks and the delivery trucks and through the walkthroughs. But we don't have to worry about that anymore. We got a field, nobody's fenced off. And so he was out there today for 45 minutes. And what's good for me, I can sit in my office and watch it. I just sit in my office and just watch what they're doing. I can sit right there. I got the script. I know what he's doing. I can sit there. I don't have to go outside per se. I can sit in there and watch it if I can't get out there. So it helps, no doubt.
Is there anyone that surprised you this spring or has come out this spring?
You know, I'm not big on that. I don't do that. You know, they're doing good, and I say that for a reason, because as soon as you say 2 or 3 guys, you know, the mom calls me up. How about my son? You know, I love your son too. I love them all. So I'm just, you know, I don't get into that. We're doing good. They're working hard, and it's a good group. It really is, and it's much more relaxing for me this season, because I think they understand the mode of operation around here. You know, last year, every day is a new day. How's the coach going to react? Why did practice change this way? Now they kind of understand the flow of what we do. And it's kind of funny when you talk to like Cabral and those guys, they just sit there and smile because they've gone through it. You know, they've seen it. They know this is how coach goes. This is what he does. This is how we're going to do it. And we're not going to change. He's going to do it this way. And so that's fun for me. I think for the staff too, because they know what I'm going to do. They got an idea of how we function. You know, and when you try to change something that guys have done a long time in college, you know, college football, man, that clock, they just wear that clock out by, you know, just staying out on the field. And I'm that 2-hour guy. You know, you go out for 2 hours, I'm leaving. I'm gonna get in the cart. I can't do it. I don't think you have to do 2 hours. I really don't. I just think that you can get it done if you're efficient. I'm about efficiency. I've always been that way. I don't want to waste people's time. Don't waste my time. I just want to go out there. And I think when you become more efficient, you become more focused at the job at hand. And the players understand that. They appreciate, okay, this is what we're doing. Now, if we mess a couple of these up, well, I can go long now. I'm not afraid of work. I'm here at 4 o'clock every day. I turn the lights on in the building. So they want to come in here with me and work. It wouldn't last 2 days. So I'm not afraid of that, but I want to make sure that practices are efficient enough where I don't waste their time, where we can get things done, because that's football. You got to be efficient. You have to have a mindset of this is what we're doing, let's get it done. And when you play a game, it's about efficiency. It's about making decisions in moments when it's critical, keeping our poise, you know, not being an emotional team. We don't want to go there. You know, we want to be a passionate team, not emotional. And I think the more we can be efficient and the more they understand, I'm always going to tax them in practice about what to do, how to do it, that carries over to the football field. And we don't panic. And for the most part this year, these kids didn't panic a whole lot when we were behind or when we played in tight games.
Has Mark Walton done enough to stay on defense, or would you move him back?
He made an appearance today.
Yes,
I don't know. He's been like you, standing and watching practice. Did you have a conversation with the kid to get into practice? That was you that got him finally practice.
Kid out there?
Yeah.
No, I didn't talk to him.
Oh, but I'm saying, I'm hoping you did because he finally practiced.
Oh, I see.
I'm giving you a hard time. No, you know, I don't know. I mean, the guy's got a great body. He's a giant of a guy, and you know, they recruited him as a tight end, and I don't think that he's going to have an opportunity to play tight end here, to be quite honest, because of their situation. I just think it might be better for him to play defense, and we'll give him every opportunity to do that. And he didn't, you know, he didn't like flinch when we said it, but I think if you're a guy that's kind of at a position where it's 5 deep, I mean, why wouldn't you switch? So we'll see what happens, but I'm glad he's at practice. Yeah.
Coach, if you look at the number of kids that took unofficials last year compared to this year with a ton of spring, 5 5X, 10X, generalized?
Ooh, it's at least double, and that goes to Al Luganbill, to obviously to AP, and then our coaching staffs. I mean, this from compared to last year to this year, and we spent a lot of hours too because we were catching up, but we're way more efficient now. We had a whole year to figure out how do we want to do this and how are we going to make an impact. And I think most people would say that we got some pretty good players. And it wasn't by accident. It was these coaches working, and they're at 1 o'clock they meet with Al. They're in there for 2 hours every day. And I've learned that. I mean, 70% of college football is recruiting. You got to recruit, and you're always recruiting. I'm on the phone, and talking, and that's what you do. That's the life, that you live, and you got to want to do it. And our guys understand it. We have a method. We have a mode of operation, and coaches have done a great job of that. So yeah, it's double at least. I mean, it's pretty good. So see.
Everybody good?
Good.
Thanks,
All righty.
Appreciate it.